back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video and welcome to February's bullet journal setup. I am so excited for February, the month of love, and I am really excited to share these spreads with you. I had so much fun putting these spreads together and thinking of the theme that I was going to do for this month, so I'm really hoping that you guys enjoy it. I would love to know down below what you guys decided to do for your monthly theme, if you guys have already sketched it out. If not, I hope this maybe gives you some inspiration for what you can choose to do for February. But right now, we're just going to jump into a quote page at the very beginning of these spreads. The quote itself says, "Every flower blooms at its own pace." It fits really well with the theme for this month, and this month's theme is watercolor roses. I was going to say watercolor flowers, but it's just roses that we're doing for this particular spread. I really love how it turned out. I think that everything worked out exactly how I wanted to in my head, and I'm really, really happy about it. I will say that the particular style of the cover page in particular is something that I found off of Pinterest. So it's not my original design, so I will of course leave that in the description box below if you want to check out where the inspiration came from. But I really like how everything turned out. Watercolor is still something that scares the crap out of me when I'm putting it in my bullet journal, but every time I'm done with it, it always ends up turning out so freaking awesome. So I'm really happy with how these spreads turned out. For the design for the cover page, I decided to go with these overlapping rectangles. Some of them are black, and then the other ones are gold. I specifically did it like this because my entire theme for my bullet journal is watercolor and gold accents, so I wanted to be able to incorporate that somehow in these spreads, and so that is how I decided to do it. So right now you'll see me jump into my gold pen and add in the rest of those overlapping rectangles. This was actually kind of confusing to do. I did the sketching beforehand, but for some reason when I was trying to actually get the ruler down and put them onto paper, I couldn't figure out where the lines were supposed to go, so I was kind of struggling there, but it ended up working out. Another thing that was kind of frustrating is this gold pen is awesome. It's super pigmented and it's very, very reflective, but it transfers so bad on everything, really. It transferred onto my ruler, which transferred onto the paper. It doesn't dry really quickly, so my impatient human being brain it doesn't work for me, but I love the way that it turns out, so I will continue to use it, but that's just something that I thought I would mention. We're just going to add some detailing around February, and we're going to go in and add some stickers onto the quote page, and then we're going to actually jump into the watercoloring, which the first contact for watercoloring is just so stressful, but I did it, and I love the way that it turned out. Those two flower stickers that I just used with the pink and gold accents are from a sticker set that I got from Michaels, and then these rounder stickers are from Target, and then I used some washi tapes. Those flower petals are actually washi tapes, and I hope they came in handy for this page. I don't love how the stickers turned out. I wish that I would have used a little bit less, but overall I still like how the spread turned out. And now it's time to do our first watercolor rose, and let me tell you, this was stressful, but I love the way that it turned out. I'm going with a very circular rose. This is a technique that I learned from Shada Campbell. She is such a queen when it comes to botanicals, and so I watched a video on how she does her watercolor roses, and I copied that technique. So I will of course leave her video in the description box below if you want to go check that out. It was very informative, and I really love how this turned out. This particular page is going to be very flower heavy because I wanted the theme to be very apparent on these pages, so I added quite a few clusters of roses here, and I just made sure to switch up the colors. I used a very pink, two pink colors, a more peachy tone, and then a purpley color, which the purple color is probably my favorite, but I used it the least because I wanted this to be more pink heavy than purple heavy, but I still really love how everything turned out. I think we're going to do one more rose after this one, and then we're going to jump into the next couple of spreads. So let's go ahead and talk about those ones. The next ones that we're going to see right now are my monthly calendar, as well as my mood tracker and my habit tracker. So I definitely didn't love this particular monthly calendar. I was trying something different because I like to know what I like in my spreads, and I learned that this just isn't it, but I still like how it turned out overall. I just know that next time in March I will go back to my full 2-page spreads for my calendar. This is just too small for my little pea brain to write down all of the things that I need. So next time I will do a bigger spread. But also, there's something that I learned while doing this particular calendar is that for some reason, after I filled in these circles with black, I went to go back with my white jelly roller to write in the numbers, and for some reason it wasn't working. I have done it before, and it worked in the past, but for some reason it wasn't working this time around. So I ended up going in with my gold pen at the end, which wasn't the best decision because the gold pen is really thick, and so the numbers didn't show up as well as I would have wanted them to. But we made it work. It still looks okay. It's just not my favorite, but I was able to add some gold accent into this page, so I guess it worked out. Now we're moving on to my habit tracker and my mood tracker. So for my habit tracker, I just did waking up early, my water consumption, planning in my bullet journal, and then reading. This will be my second spot for a place where I track my reading, but it's one of my favorite things to track, so I thought that I would add it in here just to see it on a larger scale. And then I also added in my mood tracker, I did a wide variety of moods. Maybe I was hoping that if I did a wide variety of moods that it would help me be more motivated to fill it in and give me more options to better track how I'm feeling during the day. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to add in some accents onto the page itself before we go in with the watercoloring. I'm just going to add some pink and peach colors to the actual lettering for the habit tracker, the mood tracker, and February, as well as the days of the week. Then we're going to go in and add the days of the week in gold, which you're about to see right now, and then we will jump in and add the watercolor flowers. I would love to know down below how active you guys are with your mood trackers and your habit trackers. I'm adding it in this month because I want to see if I will keep up with it, but I feel like every time I've done one in a bullet journal, I never end up using it. So maybe this time will be different. I guess we'll find out and see, but I would love to know if you guys actually stay on top of your mood trackers and your habit trackers, because maybe that will motivate me to keep up with mine. So we're just going in and adding those accents, like I said, and then we're going to jump into some watercoloring, which, again, so much fun. This one is definitely a less flower-heavy page. I think I added maybe 3 roses over the entire 2 pages. Oh, I lied, 4 roses. But again, I love how it turned out. These roses are so simple and so easy, and I'm just so glad that I was able to put this together. Watercoloring is not something that I am an expert in, and so it always gives me anxiety trying to do things like this. I'm not a super creative person in general, so I'm really glad that I was able to figure out a technique on this and make it work for my bullet journal. I will say that it does work with the pages. Even with the Archer and Olive journal, it doesn't always come out looking super clean and crisp, so if that bothers you, it's definitely something to look into when looking into the Archer and Olive notebooks. Now for these spreads, we're jumping into my TBR and my stats page. Again, we're going with that same type of design, which is the overlapping rectangles with the black and gold accents. And then I changed up the font lettering for this one. I just did some uppercase letters, and then I cut out the middle, and in the middle I just wrote in cursive TBR and stats. So we'll see that come into fruition in just a second. And then, of course, there are some watercolor flowers on this page as well. Again, it's a little bit less flower heavy than the other spreads, but I wanted to make sure to add it in. I think I also added in some stickers to this page off camera, but you guys will see that in the flip through for sure. My TBR, though, is one of my favorite spreads to fill out each month because I just love seeing it come into fruition. I love filling it out. I love putting in all my star ratings after I finish each book, and seeing it get filled out just makes me feel so accomplished. It's one of my favorite things. I didn't fill it in this video because my TBR video hasn't been posted yet. I have filmed it, but I just didn't want to spoil any of my TBR picks, so if you guys want to see what I chose for my TBR bingo this month, feel free to go check out that video. But I also love doing my stats page. I add my star ratings, my total pages read, my total audiobooks hours read, and then my genres each month. I love seeing this come together, and it's just so fun to like flip back through and look at the end of each month and at the end of the year to see what you accomplished and see all of the numbers in one singular space. So that's awesome. And now I'm just filling out my stats page with everything that was written in there, and then we're going to jump into the watercolor portion of this. I will say that it really frustrated me that the gold pen transferred into the middle of the TBR little section there. But again, I'm just telling myself that it adds character, and a couple of mistakes here and there aren't the end of the world. But I'm a perfectionist at heart, and so it's really bothering me. And again, I need to figure out a new situation for my jelly roller because it doesn't cover up things like I would like it to. So if you guys have any recommendations for good white gel pens, let me know. Again, we're just adding in those watercolor accents there. I think I'm going to just add one more to the TBR page, and we're going to move on to the next page, which I messed up here, but I will talk to you guys about it. As you can see, my favorite quotes and favorite books section has already been done, and that is because I forgot to record it. Sorry, my bad. But it's basically the same layout as the rest of them. The overlapping rectangles, some watercolor, flowers, and then some stickers. And then the quote page says, wherever life plants you, bloom with grace. And then on here, we're just going to add a couple of stickers and call it a day. Again, this pack of stickers really came in clutch, and I love how they turned out. They also had some gold accents in there, so it was absolutely perfect. Now I'm moving on to my physical and audiobook days read. Again, this is another one of my favorite spreads to do. It brings me no greater joy than to fill out this section each day. I just love it so much. And I just love seeing like how my habits of reading tend to be and what I tend to read more of throughout the month. And if January is any reflection of that, I definitely listen to more audiobooks than I do anything else. I track my audiobook hours every month, and as of right now, I think I've listened to over 100 hours of audiobooks, so that's insane. But I just love tracking this, and I always do it with colorful markers, so it's so fun to see all the colors come together. So right now we're just going to erase some pencil markings, add in some colors on top of the text, and then we're going to jump into some watercolor. Again, this is another flower heavy page, but because the bottom of that page was so empty and I needed something to fill in the space. I also added some stickers in off camera. You guys will see those in just a second when I go to fill in the numbers on the page, but I thought about it when the camera was already turned off, and then I didn't think about it again until I turned the camera back on, and I was like, oh crap, I forgot to show that off. But you guys will see that in just a second. I just added some little stickers here and there, and then a quote sticker, which I really love. So you'll see that right now. I'm just going to go in and add the numbers, and then that quote down at the bottom says, "This is a good life." And I just love how simple and like simplistic that quote is, but it's just so true. So yeah, now we're going to move on to my weekly spreads. I showed you guys 2 of my weekly spreads for this particular setup, even though there are 4 in total. I didn't want to bore you guys with the same setup for each one, but I did want to show you guys the color differentiation that I did for the spreads. I ended up going over this black marker right here with some colored markers just to add some more color and bring some more life to these weekly spreads. I tend not to add too many details to my weeklies because they are mostly just for scheduling, and I don't like it to look too cluttered because after I write things in, it can look a little messy. So I like to keep these really simple, but I like to have some color in there. So you're going to see that in just a second. I also added some stickers, again, off camera, but you guys will see that during the flip through. Also on each weekly, I added in February the numbers of the days that this week covers, and then a little mini calendar on each section. And then I think on this page I used a more purpley colored marker, and then on the other page I used a more pink colored marker. So just some things to add in there, just to add a little bit of detail and color without it being too doodle heavy. So I love the way that these spreads turned out. I just wish that I would have gone back to using a ruler because they don't look as perfect as I would have liked, but I'm hoping that it just adds a little bit more charm. But, you know, my perfectionist mind is like, why didn't you use the ruler? But again, next month, I will do better, I promise. Again, this is the same setup. I'm just going to add that purple colored marker, the pink colored marker instead of the purple colored marker. And then we're going to fill in the little mini calendar, which I love the way that those look. But man, do they just kill my hands every time. And then, of course, the days of the week are going to be added in there. And we are getting to the end of the setup. I would love to know down below what you guys decided to do for your February spreads. Please do let me know. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I have so much fun putting these videos together and adding this as a part of my content for my channel. So I hope that you guys are enjoying it as well. But I will let you guys finish out this video, and I will come back at the very end during the flip through. Alright, it's time for the flip through, and like I said, I love how everything turned out. It's just so pretty and pink, and it's perfect for February. Again, not a huge fan of the setup for this particular calendar, but you live and you learn. I do love how the colors turned out, though. It just looks so freaking aesthetically pleasing to my eyes. I don't know about you, but I love it. TBR and stats page, again, I love it. I added some more stickers, as you can see, to the stats page. Here is the favorite book and favorite quote of the month, and that quote page, which, again, turned out really pretty. There's the physical and audiobook pages, and then you'll see the sticker that I added, well, the stickers that I added for my weekly spreads. But that is the end of this video. I really, really hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And of course, leave any comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye!